Maybe this is the perfect time for a truce.
Don't ever let her hear you say that.
What makes you think that it couldn't happen again?
There is one thing that makes your situation different.
I think you're making a mistake.
What haven't you told me about my child?
General Hospital latest update. Carly forces Nina into action, while Willow is put on the spot by Drew's accusations. Meanwhile, Curtis takes down Drew publicly, Portia's blackmail nightmare escalates, and Brooklyn uncovers a shocking secret. Plus, Lulu and Dante reconnect, but is she hiding something? Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers. Carly and Nina leap into action, Willow embarrassed by Drew. General Hospital reveal Drew Quartermaine, Cameron Matheson, will ask if Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, is embarrassed to be seen together while Carly Spencer, Laura Wright pressures Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watrous. For starters, Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn will wonder what the hell someone was thinking as she catches up with Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey. This might involve the hit piece on Drew that'll be blowing up all over Port Charles. Alexis may question Drew's actions, but she may not be thrilled about Curtis Ashford's, Donnell Turner decision to splash this all over the news either since it could affect Scout Quartermaine, Cosette Abinante. While Alexis turns to Curtis for answers, Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, will bring some troubling updates to Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, regarding her blackmail situation and her lack of options. When Portia asks if it's as bad as she thinks, Rick will admit it's worse. Both Rick and Portia will worry about how Drew might retaliate following the public takedown that Curtis unleashed in the media. General Hospital. Drew will wonder if Willow is embarrassed to be seen with him after the article about Congressman Quartermaine being under fire spreads. Willow may assure Drew that she could never be ashamed of what they share. And when Carly gets into an argument with Drew later, Willow will rush to his defense. Next, Laura Collins, Jeannie Francis, will applaud Curtis for his efforts to expose Drew's bad behavior. Drew will deserve it as far as Laura's concerned, so she'll think Curtis made the right call here. As Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst and Lucky Spencer's, Jonathan Jackson feelings for each other grow stronger, their plans will get derailed. That may be due to Laura's arrival since she's going to catch up with Lucky and Liz soon. In the meantime, the Golden Bachelorette's Guy Gansert will play a wildlife journalist named Jeffrey Beckett, so Nina will flirt with Jeffrey as she brings him on board for a Crimson Nature and Travel series. Once Ava shows up in Nina's office, she'll chat with Jeffrey as well. Both Nina and Ava will be rather charmed by Jeffrey, who'll admit he's single and will perhaps enjoy the attention. At some point, Ava will have a special request for Nina. This could involve Portia's blackmail drama if Ava thinks Nina can help deal with it. Regardless, Carly will ultimately meet up with Nina and insist they have to put their plan in motion now. Maybe Carly will make a prediction about Drew putting Willow under his spell even more if they don't act fast. Could this lead to Nina breaking in Drew's safe at his new house since that's clearly part of her scheme? Could Nina potentially try to steal back Drew's dirt on Portia in the midst of all this? In the steam room, Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, will relax with Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, and ask if something happened that made him want to cut Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning, some slack. General Hospital spoilers say Dante's on the verge of making a confession, so he may spill that Lulu was still in love with him before she fell into the coma, according to Maxie Jones, Kirsten Storms. Today's next update, Lois is stopped by Spoiler from telling Brooklyn the truth, and Drew and Tracy declare war. Today on General Hospital, Carly gives Sasha some advice, Jason tries to talk sense into Charlotte, and Lulu and Dante reconnect. Down in Buenos Aires, Jason, Anna, and Charlotte return to a hotel room. Charlotte blames Anna for her father having to run for his life. Anna tells Charlotte there is a lot she doesn't understand, but Charlotte says she sent the WSB after her father and has ruined both her and her father's lives. Charlotte screams, "I hate you!" Jason intercedes and asks for a moment alone with Charlotte. Anna excuses herself. and Jason tells Charlotte that Anna is the only reason she and her dad are still alive. He explains that Anna was the one who warned her dad that he was in trouble in Port Charles, and she was the one who let her and her dad escape. He says Anna's been protecting the both of them and she deserves a little respect. Charlotte heads to bed, and Anna asks Jason to take Charlotte and return to Port Charles. She will get another hotel room so that Charlotte doesn't have to be around her and will get back to Port Charles on her own. Jason tells her Valentine is to blame for his situation, and Charlotte doesn't want to accept it. Jason says Charlotte doesn't need Anna to avoid her. She needs to see Anna has made mistakes and is trying to hold herself accountable. Anna agrees to see this through, and they'll need to keep an eye on Charlotte together. They decide to stand shifts to make sure Charlotte doesn't escape. Carly and Sasha have another baby chat. In Carly's office at the Metro Court, Sasha tells her that she's decided to decline her job offer and stay with the Quartermaines. Sasha explains that she loves the kitchen and having her own space and thinks the kids need her. She is also in a much better financial situation and has negotiated a nice nest egg for her and her baby. Carly tells her there is still the matter of her baby's father, and says Jason will never give her orders, never tell her how to be a mother, and will always be there for her and this baby. She asks Sasha not to cut him out of her child's life. Sasha explains her baby's father respects her and her choices, and it's the second greatest gift he gave her. Sasha knows her position differs from that of other single mothers, and she asks the father to step back. Carly says she may change her mind once the baby is born, as life loves throwing curveballs. Sasha promises that if she needs help from the father, she'll ask for it. Portia tries to broker peace. Portia surprises Curtis at his office and brings up how Drew must miss this place. She is still shocked at Drew's transformation, but Curtis handled it in stride. She says he won, so maybe now is a good time to call a truce with Drew. Curtis says if there is a path to peace, then he's here for it, as long as the terms are reasonable. Jordan interrupts and is sorry but says Drew is officially out of control. She fills them in on Cryptgate. Portia thinks they should stay out of the Quartermaines drama, but Jordan says this is about Drew abusing his power. Curtis says the only thing that will check Drew is public outcry. Jordan is glad she knows someone who heads a media company. Curtis says she'll see what he can do. Portia begs Curtis not to get involved, but he can't let this go. He calls someone and instructs them to do a big media push on Drew's abuse of power. Drew vows to break Tracy. In the PCPD interrogation room, Drew hopes Chase has a free cell as nothing can be done about Tracy's situation until morning. Tracy calls Drew despicable, and she can't believe he's Alan's son. Tracy misses her brother every day, but the silver lining in his early death is that he never had to meet Drew. In the station, Laura meets Martin, who says things are rapidly spinning out of control. Laura learns about the crypt fiasco from him. Chase comes out of the interrogation room, and Laura asks if the charges against Tracy will stick. Chase says they could if the surveyor testifies against her. Martin thinks this wouldn't have happened if Tracy had just given in, but Laura says she's protecting her family name. Back in the interrogation room, Drew tells Tracy he's sick of this family's hypocrisy as they've all lied and cheated, and all he did was fall in love. Tracy tells him that falling in love is one thing, but acting on it with his nephew's wife is another. She yells that he blew up Willow's marriage. He betrayed Michael's trust, and he hurt the woman who welcomed him into her home, Monica. Tracy says he doesn't deserve to be a member of their family, so why doesn't he leave town? He points out she's been kicked out of Port Charles by her family before, and it could happen again. Drew says he is still a Quartermaine and he will get his way. He taunts her that she'll be the one to end up on the outs, and he'll be the reason she got there. Chase interrupts as he says Laura wants a word. Drew exists, and Laura urges Drew to do the right thing, stand down and drop the charges. Drew asks why he'd do that. Laura says it won't bode well for him politically or otherwise if he doesn't. Drew says they broke the law, but Laura says putting Tracy in jail is not the path to justice. Drew agrees to let Tracy go, but this is far from over. Martin warns Drew that he does not need an enemy like Tracy Quartermaine. He says everyone else may be afraid of Tracy, but not me. Drew says, "I'm going to break her." Laura goes into the interrogation room and tells Tracy she can go home tonight, but she doesn't think Drew is going to back down about the crypt. Tracy says she won't let Drew steal her family name or move her parents. If Drew Kane wants a battle, bring it on. Gio on guard. On the Quartermaine grounds, Gio is standing guard at the crypt, as he told Tracy he would. Emma tells him not to go anywhere and rushes off. She soon returns with lawn chairs from the boathouse and some blankets to stay warm. Emma brings up what a jerk Drew was to Tracy. Gio notes Tracy can handle herself, so she doesn't need to jump into this mess. Emma says her mom always called her a born crusader. Gio admits if someone tried to move his mother from her resting place, he'd probably end up in jail too. Emma wishes she could stay, but she has to get to her animal cruelty meeting. He understands, and she tells him to stay warm out here. Brooke Lynn wants answers. At the Quartermaine mansion, Brooke Lynn asks her mother what she hasn't told her about her child. Lois asks where this is coming from. Brooke Lynn informs her that Martin has an entire file on her child. He knows Dante is the father, and she told Martin that she had son. Why? Suddenly Gloria wanders in, sees the tension in their faces and asks, "What in the Bensonhurst is going on here?" Brooke Lynn says it's a personal and a legal matter. Gloria assumes this is about her baby. Brooke Lynn is shocked that her mother told her grandmother. Lois says she needed help navigating what happened back then. Brooke Lynn still doesn't understand why her mother went and talked to a lawyer. She assumes something is wrong with the situation her child is in. He's in trouble. Gloria claims she was the one who told Lois to talk to Martin. Gloria wanted to make sure they were all protected, and they decided on a closed adoption long ago. Brooke Lynn says things have changed, and she needs to know who adopted her son and where he is. Brooke Lynn quickly realizes Gloria knows where her son is. Gloria admits she does, but says Lois doesn't know anything. She tells Brooke Lynn she made the right decision years ago by giving him up, and now she needs to abide by it. Brooke Lynn says it doesn't feel right, and she exits. Lois cries to her mom that Brooke Lynn is heartbroken and she needs to know that Gio is her son. Gloria says they can't tell her, as Gio worshipped his mother, so don't take that from him. Lois says Camilla is dead, and Joe's birth mother is here in this same house as he is. She thinks they need one another. Gloria insists that revealing the truth will only ruin Brooke Lynn, Dante, and Joe's lives. Brooke Lynn and her child still need her to protect them now. Brooke Lynn finds Gio sitting vigil at the crypt and asks why. He explains everything that went down. She joins him and he says he knows why he's here, but why is she? She explains she needed fresh air and to clear her head. Brooke Lynn reveals that Gloria is here, and both she and her mom are asking her to accept something that is hard to live with. Brooke Lynn goes on to say she trusted someone, and they didn't tell her something they should have. She can't say anything else. He says she doesn't have to, and though he loves them, he knows Lois and Gloria are a lot. He says it must be nice having them look out for her. Brooke Lynn thinks he must miss his mom, and Gio does. Brooke Lynn tells him to remember he has people looking out for him too. She rubs his shoulder. Dante offers Lulu comfort. At Maxie's, Dante explains Maxie took James for ice cream, and he's watching Bailey Lou for her. They talk about Rocco, and Lulu's concerned as the boy doesn't seem to be able to be in the same room as her. Dante's noticed it too, so something has to be going on. Lulu fears Rocco feels like she's chosen Charlotte over him. Dante doesn't think that's it, and he thinks Rocco is trying to give her space because he sees how worried she is about Charlotte. Lulu feels like she missed out on so much of Rocco's life and doesn't know how to parent a teenager. Dante says she's doing great and she missed out on a chunk of both her children's lives. He says she's making up for lost time with grace, love, and patience. Dante admits if he was in her situation, he wouldn't be handling it as well as she is. Lulu apologizes for how their previous conversation ended, and so does Dante. He knows he didn't make things easier for her by defending Brooklyn. Dante tells Lulu it is a miracle having her back, and he doesn't take her being here for granted. Lulu says she needs to tell him something, but Bailey Lou begins crying and he has to rush and tend to her. Dante brings Bailey Lou out and allows her to play with some dolls. Dante asks what Lulu had to say to him, but she says she can't remember. On the next General Hospital, Chase and Dante talk about their relationships in the sauna. Laura tells Curtis she'll applaud anyone who exposes Drew. Rick has bad news for Portia. Drew wonders if Willow is embarrassed to be seen with him. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.